Hi guys, welcome back. It's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. Whew, that last one was a long one. It was a long, long one. I'm not going to try to do long ones in one shot anymore because it took me forever to find a time and I never did. So, two shots at long ones and these will go faster. But we're learning. We're learning to for all these bumps and bruises before I go to my big project, which would suck if I was learning everything there. So, this one's a short one. This one's great. We're gonna zip in and out of this one. It'll be over before we know it. I hope he doesn't take a break in it, because then it'll be really short. But he might. I don't know. So we're up to day 13 p.m. and let's see. I mean, if you don't know what's going on in this trial, go back, watch the beginning, opening statements, because that's the best thing that we've seen so far. Everything else it's a trial.
Be seated. Counsel and the defendant are present. The jury is absent. I'm going to accede to the jury's, first on the Monday issue, I'm going to accede to the jury's request feelings about Monday. I think it's a very reasonable position. I think they're looking at it and thinking there's a reasonable likelihood we're not going to finish next week. Possibility, and that being the case, they'd rather just take Monday off, have a 4-day week, and come back on the following Tuesday. And given the fact that the trial is going to exceed what I represented the amount of time it would take to be, and given the fact that I also represented to them that we wouldn't have court on Mondays when we were selecting them, we won't have court on Monday, and we'll start back up on Tuesday. Now, I'm going to sustain the objection to the playing of this additional part of the clip to Mrs. Kelly's testimony. Mrs. Kelly, this witness, testified, as I said, in at least 5.5 hours on a direct examination, which was largely consumed with questions directed her to impeach her testimony. Frankly, the more it went on, the less it was clear to the court what the substantive testimony was that was trying to be impeached and what was impeachment. It was 5.5 hours of impeachment. The other couple of lines of testimony that's being proffered in this transcript and this recording is cumulative and redundant and of marginal probative value. The court's going to sustain the objection. All right, let's bring the jury in and we'll put the witness back on the stand. Glasses. Please rise. Please be seated. The record will show the presence of all the jurors, counsel, and the defendant. Considering I've talked to the lawyers about the Monday situation. I think I've listened carefully to what you said. I think you have a very reasonable position. I'm going to respect it. We're not going to have court on Monday. Number one, it looks like the trial might go longer than I had represented to you that it would go. Not real happy about having done that and being in that position. And I also represented to you, court would be Tuesday through Friday. So to add another condition coming in on Monday after I've already blown through the first deadline likely, then I'm going to respect that. Also, I think you've sized the situation up pretty well. As I told you this morning, everything's unpredictable. We don't know exactly how long things are going to take. But I think there's a reasonable likelihood that we could go into the following week, which is the way you kind of looked at it and sized it up, and it makes sense. So we will not have court on Monday. We're going to finish today about 3 o'clock, depending upon where we are with this witness. And then we'll adjourn until Tuesday of next week at 8:30. Okay, good. Well, thank you for your input. I think that was helpful to us. I'm glad I asked you. Okay, we have the witness back on the stand, still under oath. You can go ahead, Mr. Jetty.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to clear up a couple of things, Detective Ianza, because I think I made a mistake before the break. And we'll talk about two exhibits, Government Exhibit 102 and 135.1.
I kind of wanted to hear those other two tapes. I'm not gonna lie, that bums me out that the judge said no. I mean, we've heard enough. It's been over and over and over again, and he's right. We have no idea what she's trying to impeach because it's all so much. But I mean, I think we know what she's trying to impeach. She said it a couple times that she heard shots fired, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We got the gist.
I'm sure just for the record, 102 has been admitted and 135.1.
Yes.
Go ahead and open those both up, Detective.
Doesn't matter which one?
Start with the box. We can start with Government Exhibit 102.
Sounds like Amazon delivery to me.
All right, you recognize that, right? You can take it out. It's been admitted. Is that the magazine with live rounds in it?
Yes, it is.
Where was that magazine found?
This was inside the AK. It was actually locked and loaded.
So Government Exhibit 102 is the magazine that goes with Government Exhibit 101.
That's correct.
101, 102 go together.
That's correct.
The shell casing, you can put that in the box. The shell casings found, and I can bring out the exhibit, but 101, the gun box, remember the gun box?
Yes.
And there's a small envelope, Government Exhibit 101.1.
Yes.
Do you recall that?
Yes.
Where are those shell casings inside that box?
These right here?
No. The 101, the big box with the gun, and there's a small envelope inside there.
All those are spent casings
From who?
from this item. That's what you're asking?
I'm asking spent casings, is this from Rick Wyant's?
Yes, that's from Rick Wines, the
All right.
expert.
So the spent shell casings in the box with the rifle are expert spent shell casings that they use to test the weapon.
That's correct.
102 is ammo that was actually with the weapon when recovered on the search warrant.
That's correct.
And go ahead, 135.1. Should just be a single empty magazine.
That's correct.
That was testimony from DPS forensic scientist Brudenell that he took ammunition from that magazine and test fired it.
That's correct.
All right. And then finally, Government Exhibit 103 to 110 are the spent shell casings found on scene.
That's correct.
I just want to make sure we get all these spent shell casings and ammunition. And all these things are found from the search warrants.
That's correct.
And all of them are the same type of ammunition.
That's correct.
I'm going to retrieve those.
Just when I forgot about the sniffing, it hits me again.
And there may have been some confusion. Sorry, I got something stuck in my throat. About the fanny pack. When I asked you about any damage, I was referring to, is there any gunshot damage to the fanny pack?
No, there's no gunshot to the fanny pack.
No gunshot damage.
No gunshot damage.
And when you did the search warrant 008, this is the second search warrant, and you went to the barn to search the barn.
That's correct.
What else did you search out there?
Myself and now Sergeant Bunting, we actually walked southwest of the property, approximately, I'm gonna say a quarter of a mile to almost a half a mile just south, just walking, searching.
And did you find anything?
No, sir.
And one of the things I was asking about, did you find, remember I was going through a list of things you didn't find? One
Yes,
of the
sir.
things I didn't ask you, did you find any backpack?
We didn't find any backpacks.
And when you were on scene and did search warrant, are there any pine trees in the area?
Yes, there is.
And just so I want to make sure we're crystal clear, the picture from KK, Defense Exhibit KK, the one with the sun in it, I can show it to you.
No, I remember.
Is that a photograph that you took?
That's not my photograph. I do not recognize that photograph.
And you took all the photographs from the search warrants.
That's correct.
And Sergeant Flores took photographs of what?
He took photographs. I believe, I wasn't there, but I believe he's during the cutting of the branch.
And you also take photographs of the victim?
That's correct.
All right. He branch and victim, and you had all the other photographs.
That's correct.
And what happened to co-counsel? We're going to get teed up here. Give me a few moments, Your Honor, for the interview. I don't know what she's coming back in, Your Honor. Just 1 second. Are you ready? We're going to play the state exit. No. Oh, yeah.
Oh, those are from
Oh, no, we're talking about the transcripts of the
the
defense interview.
Did they not give you this?
All right.
We're ready to play.
We're ready to play.
All right, and this is exhibit. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
We have a transcript, Judge.
Oh.
I'm sorry. We have a transcript, but apparently it's not
Here.
here.
All right, this is an interview of Mr. Kelly.
That's correct. Exhibit 57.
All right, very well. How's the audio on this?
It's a video and audio. It should be decent.
Decent audio?
I say that now, but
I have some recollection that, but I could be wrong. All right, we'll see it. We'll try it. Again, I have my own speaker up here, so what you're hearing, what I hear is different
You're the judge. You're never wrong.
volumes. So if you have a problem hearing this, raise your hand, let me know so we can make some adjustments. All right? Any objection from the defense? Over there? Knock, knock. Anybody there?
I apologize.
That's right. Any objection?
Playing this?
Yeah.
No, sir.
Okay, good. Just checking. Go ahead.
Someone wake up Kathy.
Are you a car man? I didn't hear that. All right, how would you like cars? Okay. Stephen Deacon. Nice. Okay. Now, what is your highest level of education? Graduate school. Graduate, what's your degree in? Pre-med and undergraduate, pre-vet and graduate. Okay. Where'd you go to school at? Wake Forest University, University of North Carolina, NC State, Appalachian State. How long have you been retired? I've grown on the farm. And so I work for, the only time I worked, other than for my own self, I worked for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service for 10 years. All right. And then after that, I went into business for myself. Okay. Rancher. Okay. Obviously, your main language is English, correct? Yeah. Do you understand any Spanish, knowing where you live? Mi español es muy malo, but está bien. Okay. Can you read and write it? No. No? I can read it, but I can't. Can you understand the Spanish language? Sometimes. If you, I don't want to be rude, but if you call me a bad name, okay. Many Felix and Alberto de los told me all of that. So right now, you prefer, language is English? Yes. Okay. All right. Have you consumed any medications and or substances that's gonna inhibit what we're gonna talk about? Inhibit is like, you're not gonna understand? I take my high blood pressure medicine, I take it in the morning. And are you good right now? That has asthma. No, I understand what you're saying. I'm cognizant, I know what you're asking me, and I'm not confused to the point that, I'm upset to the point you'd be if you found what I found. Okay, just, hold on. Where do you live, sir? Give me your physical. 100 Little Cross Road. How long you live there? I bought that ranch in 2002, and we had a ranch there and had a ranch in Canela. So you could say I've lived there in the farm. We lived in the farm from 2002 to 2008, and I built a house where I live now. Okay, who lives with you? My wife. What's your wife's name? Wanda C. Kelly. Just you and your wife? Just me and my wife, and a cat and 2 dogs. How long have you lived there? Since when? I built the house in 2008, and we moved in 2009. But I've owned that ranch since 2002. Okay. I built my barn in 2003. And the ranch, you said, you retired, you take care of a ranch? I'm not retired. I draw Social Security, but the ranchers never retired. Okay, I'm sorry, that's your main income right now. Aside from your Social Security, you maintain your ranch? Yes. And it's your ranch? My ranch, only 100% mine and my wife. And cattle? Yes. Okay. That's what you do there? Cattle and horses. Okay. So, George, you know why you're here? The other guy brought me in that Chevy, because I don't like riding Chevy. But do you know why they brought you down here? I assume that, yeah, I know why they brought me down here, because I found a body on my ranch. So what were you gonna do? So right now, so I'm gonna read you a race. Yeah, I knew you were just going through the race. So it's 8:35, so it's 20:35, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to the Lord, to have him present with you while being questioned your guilty liar. If you cannot afford the liar, one will be appointed to you to represent you before any question you wish. You may cease talking at any time. Do you understand each of these rights I've read to you? Yes, sir. Now, having understanding these rights and knowing your rights, do you wish to talk to us? It's a yes or a no. Can I ask something? Jose Lerma was my attorney. Okay. And he's retired now, lives in Tucson. Okay. So I don't have an attorney. Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you understand each right I read to you? Yeah. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to have a lawyer present. Did you or me, would you have a lawyer present? I can't give you any legal information, sir. So my question to you is, now knowing you understand your rights, do you understand your rights? Yes, I understand. Every single right I read to you, do you understand? Yes, I understand. Now, understanding your rights, you read your rights and you understand your rights, do you wish to talk to us? If I talk to you, can I refuse to answer a question? Yes or no, sir? Simple as that. Do you, I won't. You wish to talk to us? Yes. Okay. Now that be stupid that I'm saying, because I want this thing solved. Okay. All right, Bruce. Tell me everything you did today, from the time you woke up to the time you came here and me talking to you. Yeah, I woke up, I ate breakfast. I went out and let my horse out into the main pasture, checked on my water, my cattle, checked on the dogs, fed the dogs, fed the horse. came back in and ate lunch. When I was eating lunch, and this is the heart of the matter, and I'm being open about this, and I want to make sure you understand that. I was eating lunch, and while I was eating lunch, and you only been in my house, but I have a little island, and you can see out the window. You can see out the window. I heard shots, close.
Okay. Show of hands, which is more annoying? The sniffing or that noise preventing us from hearing anything that he's saying? I know who's eating lunch, which included pineapples.
And I looked up and I saw my horse running across the pasture in front of me about 150 yards. And I saw men in full, it was kind of like, this has happened 3 other times. This was investigated by your department back in the spring. If you live out there on the border, you see people coming out through there all the time. So I saw guys running across in full, normally they have full green top and bottom with black background. This is unusual because these guys had tan shirts and pants with full brown, big, solid backpacks. Okay? I saw them and I heard the shot when I came out there. And I went out there and I saw them running down and into, see the ranch is big, into an arroyo. I immediately took my cell phone out. I called Jeremy Marcel, who's the ranch liaison for Border Patrol. I told him what I saw. And he said, we'll send somebody out there as quick as we can. They said, did you hear a shot fired? And I said, yes, I heard one shot fired. And they said, okay, we're going to send the sheriff's department because the shot was fired. And we're going to send the border patrol because you saw people you assumed were drug dealers. Because I see them out there all the time. And then so I said, just, they'll be out there if you get out, be outside where you can see you or wherever. And so they came, border patrol came first. Then y'all guys had 2 or 3 units come out, and for 5 officers, a man and 2 men and 2 ladies, and then there was another one. 3, I think 3 people.
And then there are separate clips for this.
Vehicles. 3 sheriff. I didn't see the sheriff. Are all of them that come out there would be sheriff? Yeah. Okay. And then I just stood there while they completely surrounded that area, walked all through it. It's 170 acres range. They stayed out there and walked through it, right where I saw the guys running in the wash and all that stuff. They walked and examined it. And Officer Lopez, Rafael Lopez, he was one of the officers. He didn't walk where, there's other officers that walked where the body was. And they didn't see anything. And there was 3 or 4 of them that walked there. I didn't walk there. I wasn't that involved at all. But they walked there and they didn't see anything. And then we walked all over the ranch and they walked down the border patrol and sheriff's people were, working together, walking all over the whole ranch. They didn't see anybody. I didn't see anybody. The only people I saw were the ones running across and ran down with my horse. Okay, now, all that was done over a 2 or 3 hour period of time. And the officers were out there and the border patrol. They said, okay, we looked, they're not here, they're gone, it was 30 minutes after I called, for anybody to get there, I don't understand that, you can't tell it. So they had plenty of time to run down the wash, cross the fence where they cut all the fences this week, last week, and I reported fence cut in 10 places for Border Patrol. It's still cut. And I assume they ran down the wash, went through the same place, the fences were cut, and then went over and went this. That's my guess. I'm just saying that again. Okay, so they said, but the place is clean. There's nothing, nobody's out here, no illegals, no drug runners, nobody's out here. As far as they can say. And I said, okay, so I went back in, and my wife and I were getting ready to eat something. And so it was about 5 o'clock. I went up to the horse. I want to check him over real quick. Because I didn't know if that one shot was fired, whether they might have shot my horse. I checked him over real good, put him up. No, I better back up. When I went out to get him, he was out in the pasture. When I went out to get the horse, then I walked around down the little road where the horse comes. He follows me down. When I'm following the horse in to put the horse up, then I'm in the road.
I want a horse now to follow me when I walk down the road. That would be so cool.
My dogs are with me.
And my
That's
dog.
two Labrador dogs.
This sounds awesome.
They're shut up in my garage right now. 2 dogs, and here's the trail, I'm walking down the trail, 10 yards off the trail, the dogs ran over it and began investigating. And I trained my dogs, I trained 1,000 rats. I knew that they had seen something, spotted something, smelled something. I walked over there, I saw the dog. It was lying face down. I didn't do anything to it, but I knew, I said, this is bad. I could tell the individual, I had medical training, I could tell the individual wasn't breathing. And by the look, it was laying face down, flat, face down, and his face was in the dirt. And I wanted to make sure that he wasn't alive, because I would immediately call an ambulance. But I watched, I maybe stood there for 3 minutes to make sure he wasn't breathing. I didn't see any blood, I didn't see anything. I just saw the body. I backed up the way I came to him. So I knew, I said, okay, I've got a body here. This is going to be an investigation. They're going to need evidence not being contaminated. So I backed up, walked right back to the house the way I came, immediately called Jerry Morissette, the Border Patrol liaison, and I told him I need Border Patrol and the Sheriff's Department out here. I didn't tell him why. I just said that there's a body out here. I didn't say human or anything. I said there's a body out here. And that's immediately, he called you guys and the Border Patrol and the Border Patrol. But he called the Border Patrol his main office. They called the Sheriff's Department. Because that's the way he said it was. Then the lady called me, the Sheriff's Department called me back and said, we're sending officers out there, they should be out there immediately. They were out there while I was talking to her on the phone. And from that was Sergeant Lopez. No, Officer Lopez, Raphael Lopez. He said, will you take me out and, I'm trying to make sure I get it right. There was another officer there, in a shirt like that, it was a tan shirt rather than dark. And he went with us. We waited for him, because that's right, Lopez wanted us to wait for him, so he got there, he came up quick before dark. And he said, okay, I want you to take us to what we saw. So we walked out the road, the three of them, and I had marked where the body was by a flashlight. One of my little flashlights, I turned it on and put it on the tree limb, the steep limb, and turned it on. So I know exactly where it was. We walked to the flashlight. I said, okay, here's the flashlight. Put the flashlight down. I said, you guys walk in this direction 10 feet, and you're gonna see the body. They walked it, and Officer Lopez walked up and looked at the other officer, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, and nodded. And they said, okay, let's back off, because we don't wanna contaminate any evidence. Let's back off and go back to the house. But the one officer, which is sergeant, or I don't know, he stayed with the body. And me and, Officer Lopez, we went back to the house, not in the house, we went back to his vehicle. And he said, I'm gonna call other officers. And so there were, I don't know, 4 or 5 cars came. He said, where is your wife? I said, she's in the house. Can they go up to talk to her? And I said, of course. They went up, they rang the doorbell, and talked to her, and then she's been brought here too, I think. I don't know. But I never saw her after that, period. So, I'm sure I've left out some things, but that's basically as much as I remember. I will say this, that I've never been confronted with a situation like this where I'm still somewhat agitated. I'm still somewhat nervous, upset. You don't find the body on the land.
I understand. Let me ask you something, George. Did you ever call the sheriff's office directly?
No, the border patrol.
Did you ever advise border patrol that you saw someone inside your house?
There was nobody was inside my house.
So when you initially called border patrol, you never made a statement where you told,
Oh, yeah, right.
I got people inside my house?
No, I never done that because there's nobody inside my house. I said, I'm inside my house and there's people running outside my house. That was the initial call of border patrol. Because I could see the backpack, I assumed they were probably drug runners, and I always called border patrol.
What time was this when you initially saw the people?
It was out of the evening, right out of the late lunch.
It could be more than this.
1:30, 2 o'clock.
And you mentioned that you heard a shot. Do you own any weapons?
Yeah, yeah.
How many weapons do you own? And what type of weapons do you own?
Well, I said he's gonna come get all our guns, so I don't know that I wanna answer
That's okay.
that.
And that's in your ready?
I had, Officer Lopez has my 40 caliber Glock. And I had it on my side, and he said, will you let me? Yeah, that, and I'll put it in my car and get it back to you when this is all done. So I have he has my 40 caliber Glock.
But is it safe to say that you have more weapons at the house?
I'm not gonna,
Let me ask, I'm gonna tell you this, George. I'm gonna do a search warrant on your house.
that's fine,
I'm drafting up the search warrant.
that's fine.
Whether you tell me or no, I'm gonna find out. Let me tell you this. Do you know we conduct ballistics, correct?
Yeah,
So, we'll go into that right now, okay? So at one point, did you ever run after these people?
run after them? No.
Did you ever, at any time you saw these people running, did you feel that your life was in danger?
Yeah,
Okay?
because I heard a shot fired.
Okay? And now knowing your life was in danger because you heard the shots, I'm asking you, did you ever run after these people?
No, I did not run after them.
At the time you were eating lunch, were you armed?
I had my 40 caliber on my side.
Are you always armed?
Yes,
Okay. And
well, not always, I don't see the big one.
I mean, during your normal day, during your normal day.
Yeah, I was at 40 caliber.
So at one point, you never went after these people? No, you never, tried to see who you were? No, now when I called Border Patrol and they were coming out, I walked down the road and across the wash and up to the other side because I simply wanted to see if somebody was over there shooting my cows. So I didn't walk after them, I just walked down the road and walked to my car.
Was there around the same time when the deputies initially responded as well?
I'm not sure,
When you said that you walked the wash and you went up to check that nobody was checking your cows, or,
Yeah.
killing your cows, I'm sorry? Was that around the same time when the deputies responded, when you mentioned that they were?
Yes, I met them on the road, Border Patrol came there first.
So you have deputies saying that you were armed with a rifle, is that saying?
Yes.
That's true.
I live in Lancaster, which is a lot of farm land, and we have a fair amount of cow tipping, but we don't have a fair amount of cow shooting.
Yes,
Okay. Did you ever go back to the house to get your rifle?
did I ever go back to the house? I have to go back when?
To the house, because right now I asked you if you were armed. You said you only were armed with your.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you're saying that you had a rifle.
I was armed when I saw the individual. Before I started walking down the road, to walk down the road, I got my AK-47. So I have an AK-47. I got it and I put it on my shoulder with my pistol and I walked down the road with the pistol and the AK-47. You'd have to be out there, but it's my main road through the ranch. I didn't look for them, I didn't chase them. I just walked down and went over to the barn to make sure that everything was secure.
And we say you felt your life was in danger because of a shot or because you saw the man?
Because the shot. And I saw the men after the shot. You put the two together. And you know what it's like to be out there. I mean, I've been shot 3 times in the last 20 years.
And then reported those past incidents?
Yeah, in fact, the sheriff actually arrested one of the guys. It was not a drug. I was closing the gate one time and 3 shots came.
He said he was shot 3 times living out there. We haven't heard that testimony at all yet.
Wow. One of them clipped my ear.
When was this?
How long ago? Years ago. And I called the sheriff immediately. And they came out, and they came down Kilo Springs Drive, and the guy was trying to run away, and they caught him and took the gun.
So you go out there and find the body. What time did you find the body?
It was before dark, so I would say.
5 o'clock. And what did you do once you saw the body?
As soon as I saw the body, I backed off, went to the house, and called the border patrol.
Is there any reason you called Border Patrol and not us first?
Because the border patrol were the initial investigators of the incident that took place earlier that day. And Jerry Marcel is the ranch liaison, and he said, anytime you see any people out there that you are suspicious of, call us, and we'll come out and investigate. And so he'd already been out there, and we have a personal relationship. I mean, he's a ranch liaison, I've known him for years. And so I called him, and that's fine, and he said, I will call the sheriff's department. I said, please call the sheriff's department. So, I don't know if I answered your question like you. Once you asked it, I'm not sure. You asked it, I'll answer it.
Something's not adding up.
Okay, tell me what's not adding up, and I'll tell you.
Something's not adding up. It's just how this all came about, how it was reported the first time, and how the second time was reported. You made some statements to some deputies, and I'm seeing that it's very concerning to me right now.
Okay,
So I'm gonna give you the opportunity to be straight up with me, be honest, okay? This is your time to try to help yourself. If you shot this person by mistake or by fear, you gotta let me know, because I'm gonna do a search on your house.
I understand.
I'm gonna do ballistics, and if I recover the casing, or the bullet on the body, and you suspect their weapon, you're gonna be in trouble.
I understand.
So, I'm giving you the opportunity right now. Be real honest. question, you gotta let me know right now. You gotta be honest with me, George, because nothing's adding up right now.
Okay.
The statements you made on scene and what you're telling me right now,
I don't know what didn't add up.
it's not adding up.
Tell me what didn't
You're
add
gonna
up.
listen to the stories, your demeanor, and your behavior, okay? So, I'm gonna ask you one more time, okay? And I'm gonna ask you to be honest,
I've been honest with you.
okay? So, if you shot this person by fear, and you hit him, and he died, you gotta let me know. Because like I said, I'm gonna do a search on your house, and I'm gonna recover every single weapon, and I'm gonna get it tested. Whether you tell me,
I have no reason to believe I shot this person.
what does that mean?
It means I have no reason to believe I shot him, that's it.
Did you shoot? You made a statement, let me put it this way. You made a statement on one of your 911 calls to this agent, I shot something. Okay?
I wish when he would have said right there, "Did you shoot?" If he would have just shut up for a second and let him answer the question or say something.
To the border relations,
Yes, sir. So
I
your
did not.
stories are not.
I didn't make that statement.
Okay, well, it is, and I'm gonna talk to the board.
That's fine.
Everything's recorded, you understand?
I understand.
Okay, so I'm asking you one more time.
I did not make the statement that I shot.
I'm gonna ask you, you shot at something. That's exactly what was said, okay, and it was said,
I did not make that statement.
George, I'm telling you right now,
Okay,
I'm telling you. This is your opportunity,
I understand.
come forward and tell me the truth,
I'm telling you that did not make the statement that I shot somebody.
okay?
Or at somebody or shot period.
It was said by you, okay? So my question to you right now,
How do you know it was different?
because the agent that called us said that you needed someone out there because you had shot something.
That's the agent said. I didn't say it.
Okay,
I didn't make the statement that I shot at or shot somebody or
so
anything.
the agent.
Agent said, no, he might have, I'm not gonna say what the agent did. I hadn't heard the agent.
Okay, did you shoot the gentleman?
No. As far as I know, I mean, how can I know that?
You're the one with a rifle. You're the one was found out with a rifle. You're the one that.
How could I know that? So if I had never shot a gun that night and someone asked me, "Did you shoot this person?" I would say, "No, I didn't shoot this person." I would not say, "How would I know if I shot this person?"
Found the body coincidentally hours after you spotted them. Okay?
I did not shoot at anybody.
Your wife is here,
I understand.
and I'm gonna talk to you right now.
Talk to her.
Okay, so, you never shot this gentleman?
No.
I never
Yeah,
shot at any.
No. I mean,
Okay. Well, once we do the ballistics and everything's gonna come back, and we're gonna find out.
I understand.
And if that round came out of New York, AK-47,
right,
or AR-15, guess what?
I go to jail.
Exactly.
I understand. That's the way it is. And that's
So,
all.
okay, so now knowing that, help yourself and tell me the truth right now.
I haven't told you the lie yet. If,
George, look at me. George, look at me. I can see it in your eyes right now, that you wanna tell me something. I can see you wanna make this right and be at peace with yourself. If you shot this gentleman, you gotta let me know now. If you keep lying, it's gonna get worse for you.
I haven't said I didn't shoot.
Did you shoot? Towards these gentlemen?
Not,
George, did you shoot at these gentlemen?
did not shoot at this one.
Did you shoot?
I
Okay,
shot over there.
okay. Well, you struck someone. And is that person that's dead right now?
I don't know. The shot,
I'm telling you right now.
well, the shot fired originally might have
You
been
understand what you just told me? You shot at them.
not acting over there.
How far were they when you shot them?
150 yards.
Okay. How accurate of a shooter are you?
Good.
Have you actually zeroed that rifle? Out to range and zeroed it,
No,
so it's not accurate.
I shot 100 yards over their head.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Let's say the target,
How far was it when you shot?
huh?
How far was it?
2 o'clock in the afternoon. So plenty of lot.
And why did you shoot them and they were winning the race?
Because when you're out there to that situation, and you have people that they weren't running away from you, they were just running. I didn't know where they were going.
You said earlier that they were running away.
They're running across.
Okay, away from
Across the
the
block.
rush. Were they coming at you?
No, they were running parallel with me.
Were they coming at you?
Okay, I'm not trying to.
No, you're, I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this.
Let's just get, look at this point right here, here's the point, here's where I'm standing. These people that I saw running were running like this,
150 yards away from you.
100 to 100, I hadn't measured it, 100, 150 yards away. And they were armed. They were armed.
What were they running?
You can ask my wife. Also, she knows what it, she just said a rifle. She said, I see them have a rifle. And she'll tell you that they had a rifle. And so, they had a rifle, they were running across like this, and at 150 yards, and I shot 100 yards over their head. In other words, you aim a gun like this, got 150 yards, you know the range of an AK-47 goes what, mile? And so, if I'm aiming over their head that far, there's no way I could have shot that individual.
May I ask you this, when they were running with the rifle, did they ever point their rifle at you?
Yeah,
Oh, now they did.
okay, the guy's running with the rifle, and he turns, he's gonna turn, and he's gonna point it at you. Just like in a mode of turning, he's gonna point it at you. So, yeah, they turned with the rifle and pointed it toward him. In fact, my wife saw it.
Soon after they pointed the rifle at you, how long did it take you to shoot?
Over top of their head and me.
And any other time?
No, that's it.
Where is that rifle at right now?
In my house, I'll give it to you. I'll open the door, you don't have to.
You're not going back to the house. You're not going back to the house right now.
Okay.
The house is secure right now. Like I said,
My dogs are shut in.
we'll take care of the dogs, don't worry about it. We'll find out, we'll find out. All like I said, there's some inconsistencies with your story. The stories some statements you made on.
I'm 74 years old, I'm saying I might be confused.
Can you let me finish, please? I'll let you talk and you let me finish now.
Okay.
So, there is inconsistency with your story right now. What I've been told by deputies on scene, what you said and what you told local. Okay? You just admitted right now, that you shot
Yeah.
at the running subject.
I did not shoot at them, I shot over their head.
It doesn't matter, you shot towards them. Whether you shot over their heads or not, you're shooting towards them. Okay? Alright?
You shoot straight up in the air.
It doesn't matter, you shot towards them, you're actually over their heads.
Yeah,
You sure you're an educated man? Or you put the there, you shot them.
not at them, I shot over their head.
Same difference.
I don't agree.
Okay? But your actions killed someone.
I don't know that.
Well, we're gonna find out once I do the ballistics, and I'm gonna tell you right now. I've given you more than one time to tell me the truth. You're saying you shot over the heads.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna stick to.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything else? Do you have anything else for me, Mr. Cook? Anything else for me? Anything you wanna add? Anything that is very important, is gonna help you out or assist me in figuring this out?
No, I think you both do very professional.
And I thank you. I've been disrespecting you.
No, you haven't.
I just wanna get the bottom because we have,
I'm very upset and I'm confused. I know that. We have that before. and I have senility.
We have a deceased person.
I want,
We have a deceased person.
yes, yes, that's all.
Okay. From a bullet strike.
I don't know about that.
Well, yes, I can tell her right now it is.
So you examined it, you found
We
it.
have a sergeant that's on scene, that he used to be a detective.
Okay,
He says, it looks like a puncture. Okay, from her. Then you put your story together, well, she's no border patrol. Put your two together. Whether your shot is accurate or not, whether that weapon is you or not, something happened during that heat of the moment, adrenaline, you shot. You said you shot over the head.
I tell you, I'm saying that the one shot I heard could have shot that individual too. There was one shot I heard before, remember, it all started. I heard a shot, that's why I went outside, saw the guy, heard a shot. That shot could have shot that individual.
But you know the camera's on there, right?
Oh, I'm given permission to put them all over my ranch.
All right, is there anything else, sir?
Not that I can think of now that relevant or pertinent. I apologize if I'm not clear talking tonight.
No, you're clear. It's just, what I've been told, what you said, and what's been relayed, it's just inconsistencies. It's not adding up.
If I were you, maybe I would say it was inconsistent too.
No.
I mean, I understand.
This is what I do for a living,
I understand.
you know?
You're not, you're an individual that hasn't seen a body in the last 4 hours, laying on the ground.
Well, I've seen
I've
seen bodies left and right.
24 hours from now, I may be a little more calm.
I've seen bodies freshly dead.
I'm
Everything,
sure.
okay? So, it's just, like I said, George, I'm not here to disrespect you, I haven't been disrespectful.
Well, yeah.
I appreciate you coming out here, but it's just, sorry, just don't match up, okay?
If I were in your shoes, maybe I would think of
Okay,
me.
so the moral of the story is, you shot someone's dead,
Yeah.
and proximity to your property.
They're on the property, the body's on the property.
So, I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'll be right back. Stay right here, okay?
Yeah, I would like to have some water.
I'll get you somewhere, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring you a bottle of water, okay? Right back.
Okay. I'm sitting right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Your Honor, would you like me to fast forward through the time when nothing's said?
What's your position? What's the gap here?
I think
How
it's a
long?
few minutes.
We can end it
Is there something else?
I think so.
and we'll watch it.
So you just want to fast forward it to that point? Is that all right? Okay, go ahead.
Something was said.
Hey, George, we ran out of, bottles, but we have a cup of water, that's okay with you.
I don't drink any water except bottled water.
Got you, yeah, like I mentioned, we ran out of the,
I won't time.
okay.
I don't drink nothing but bottled water, and there better not be any vegetables in it.
Vacation, I'm on vacation.
Okay. George?
Yeah, let me ask you, make sure my wife is,
Yeah, she's fine.
it's like she's on medication, I'm on medication.
Okay.
My blood pressure medication is at my house. So, and I take like a bunch of different pills.
Where is it told that?
They're in my medicine cabinet.
I got some of those in your pocket, we'll put that,
They're not high blood pressure medication.
because you told me that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it out, please. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's again, the original.
Alright, I can tell you what they are.
Okay, George, no, you can put them away, those away, put them right here.
High blood pressure.
Alright, put it away. Hi, George. Is there anything else you wanna answer? Is there anything else you wanna tell me before we end this?
Something.
Hey.
You keep on thinking, George, and I'm here, okay?
I can say this,
Go ahead.
and I want you to hear this.
Alright, George, hold on. Alright, go ahead, tell me what this, you need to know, or what I need to know.
If I had thought that I had shot someone, I would have been stupid to call Border Patrol, and I knew they were gonna call the sheriff's department. That would be the dumbest thing that an educated man would do. I would have never called, period. I have no idea, I do not believe that I shot this person, I know
Okay, so he just admits that he freely will break the law if he has to protect himself.
I didn't shoot this person. If I thought there was any chance I shot the person, I would not have called him.
Why would you say that?
Because only an idiot would call it in.
Only an
Because
idiot
it
would say that.
would be like, I don't know. I suppose a man breaking in your house and he's got a gun and he threatens your life.
Okay, stop. I already asked you, they were inside your house, you said.
No, I'm just,
Let me finish.
okay.
I already asked you if they were in the house, you said no. Okay? You already said your life was in danger because they had a rifle on them. Okay?
I said my life wasn't there.
That's what I'm saying, your life was safe because the man had a rifle and you said that
He tried to run that.
pointed at you. Okay? You shot at them, but not at them, over them.
I shot over their head.
The body is deceased in your property,
Yes.
okay, what is believed to be with a single gunshot wound, okay? A long gunshot wound. You said you shot with an AK-47,
Yes.
okay? And your inconsistent stories as what was said and what was told and what was relayed to us, okay?
If you
Alright,
think so.
okay. That's not what I said, so it's been recorded. Okay, so George, I'm gonna ask you one more time. Is there anything else that you want to tell me right now to help yourself out?
I don't see what I could tell you what I'm doing.
Okay. So George, as of right now, you're gonna be under arrest.
I understand.
First degree murder.
I understand.
You understand?
I understand.
So we're gonna go ahead and process you.
Okay.
There's a gentleman that's gonna take you right now. We're probably gonna have to take you to the hospital, so you can get some medication prescribed. You're gonna be booked in for first degree murder.
I understand.
Okay, is there anything else you wanna add?
No.
Okay, so as of right now, I'm gonna go ahead and interview, and we'll go from here.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
So this is,
Thank you, professionalism.
this is Detective Aita, along with Detective Barba. This will end our interview with George Allen Kelly at 2119 hours.
If you come and watch it, you don't have to argue.
I will take care of it, just hold on, okay? Stay right here.
Okay, Okay, that was interesting.
That's all the questions I had, Your Honor.
That's all the questions? All right. Cross-examination.
Here we go.
Sorry, I was shocked. He told me he would have questions after.
Sorry.
So glad to- Well, why I can talk after lunch. While we are on this video, let's talk about that first. It wasn't my order, but I think it's fresh in our minds, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You asked over and over, did you shoot at these gentlemen? And the response was, no, I didn't shoot at those gentlemen. But when you asked, did you shoot? He said yes and followed up with over the head, correct?
That's correct, ma'am.
Now, it
Yeah, but it took him a long time to get there.
seems to me like we're combining the events of what happened earlier to what happened that evening, okay? The 5 subjects that ran across his window would be heading in a southward direction, correct?
That's correct.
Because he said they were running parallel to him.
That's correct.
And you now understand he's in his home, in his kitchen. Is that correct?
That's correct, ma'am.
And we all went out there yesterday and we're talking about the location of the body is due east, correct?
That's correct.
Give or take a few degrees, whatever, generally speaking.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now, if a person sees subjects running across the window and the wife sees 2 of them running across the window, because think about it this way. If he says, Wanda, quiet, look outside. Some of them could have already ran past the window. Was that possible?
It could be possible.
And then she looks up and sees 2, correct?
That's what she's stating.
That's what she did state over and over and adamantly in court, and you've been in here the whole time, correct?
That's correct, ma'am.
Okay. Now there's dispute, what she's saying. And we could talk about those disputes a little bit later. But for the sake of her adamant testimony, she saw 2, 3 could have already came out of the view of the window, correct?
It's possible.
Thank you. Now, you said there was no evidence.
Exactly, ma'am.
There's a witness, and she's sitting right behind me, and her name is Wanda Kelly.
I know, ma'am. I recognize it.
Okay. Witnesses are evidence, potential evidence, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Because we brought someone in with, I don't know what we're calling him now, but started off as DRR, and he came in and testify, and that is your evidence, correct?
That's correct.
So is her testimony any less than his credibility and testimony?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And of course, that'll be the juror's decision. We all understand that, right?
That's correct.
Okay. But we're looking at what you were looking at. And that's what I'm trying to convey to the jurors at this moment. Okay.
That's correct. Good.
All right. Now, that went one step further. It was reported. And now we have more evidence of not something that got fabricated later on, but we have more evidence now that Mr. Kelly wanted to report his findings of what was going on, correct?
That's correct.
And from his information to the Border Patrol, Jeremy Marcel, he hadn't left his house yet when he reported it. Are you agreeing with that?
It's the first time or the second time?
We're at the beginning.
He was at work.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kelly never had stepped out yet. He said he was going to, and he heard a shot, and then we got the horse, and that he might have to shoot, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, we can all recall what Jeremy testified to.
Yes, I was here.
Okay. And so, if a person thinks they ran parallel across their window, what's the first direction you're going to look at when you step out of your house?
Towards the direction they're running.
Right. I'm going to stand up and confirm that. I'm in my house. People are running across it and heading south, and I'm pointing to the right for the court reporter.
I understand. I got
Be
you.
my right.
And for me.
I get on the phone because Miss Swan over here brings the phone with the Border Patrol on there, and he reports what he reported, correct?
That's correct.
All right. He grabs his gun from the corner of the door there, which we heard testimony about that from Miss Swan, I believe, correct?
That's correct.
And so when he steps out, is he going to look towards a body that's found later, or is he going to look at the subjects that are running in the south direction?
It's logical he's going to look at the subjects.
Thank you. Now, he sees one of them, based on his statement given to you, turn around with his rifle.
That's what he told me.
We now have the potential of self-defense, but instead of shooting that man, he shoots up in the air. And however many cases you found, 8, 9, what was it?
It was a total of 9.
9 times. And he had the potential to even do more if he wanted to, correct?
That's correct.
Well, you know what size ammo he had on him, right? What
No.
his magazine looked like?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so he could have done 20 or whatever, but he stopped at 9. And he comes and testifies that these people move outward and go down this road to what be the direction of the barn, the ravine that you crossed through that we all saw yesterday, correct?
That's correct.
He clearly said he didn't chase him.
He
You-
said he didn't chase him.
Right. So somehow we get that into the mix of everything else.
That's correct.
Okay. What part of raising his rifle to the subject that pointed a rifle at him is illegal?
Ma'am, your meaning of shooting at them or shooting on their heads, it's different from my idea. Doing that, it's reckless, it's dangerous. Ma'am, if you say shooting at them or over the heads, it's still a reckless display of a weapon, this reckless discharge of a firearm too.
Okay. You're stating that when he has over 100 and something, almost 200 acres of land, that it would be reckless to even shoot his rifle on his own property?
Pointing the gun up in the air and shooting it recklessly, ma'am, it is.
To what would he hit?
You never know, ma'am.
So now you're thinking maybe this person could have been out, way out there somewhere, got hit and walked to the location?
I'm not saying that.
Okay, so which way is it? Because y'all are presenting evidence that the bullet hole is facing the house. So is it that he died there, or did he die out there recklessly somewhere over the ridge, down in the creek, and received a bullet?
He died where he was at.
Okay, so you want to stay with that? How does that gun pointed at the people to the right affect the person that's due east? How does that happen?
Can you repeat the
Exact-
question?
No, she just proved that George is lying. She just proved that George is lying. He said he shot warning shots in the air. There's a dead body. There's nobody else around them. And he was lying when he said he's looking due east.
How does a bullet that is being shot in the southern direction over the heads of these subjects end up in a bullet that is a person that's due east? How's that reckless? And how did it happen?
The evidence shows, ma'am, that Mr. Kelly came out of his porch and shot towards the direction. The body is dead directly behind his porch.
That's your testimony, sir. What evidence do you have of that?
The dead
It
body.
is the trajectory of the bullet, ma'am, coming in and out of the body. It's coming from the direction of the Kelly house.
You heard
I didn't
testimony.
finish the answer.
Oh, I apologize.
Okay, ma'am? That's where it's coming from. It goes from right to left, from bottom, and exits the chest. It is coming from the direction of the Kelly house.
Let me give you another possibility. If the judge is the location of the ravine that we stopped to look at yesterday. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And the dead body is over here. Did you notice the elevation towards the ravine was way lower than the elevation where the body was?
The wash, you mean, going down?
Wash. The arroyo, the wash, the ravine. all
It drops,
that,
it drops down.
it drops down.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if you recall, when we had that little stick that we put through the skeleton, you could see it was an upward direction. So what if someone from the ravine, depending where I'm at, I might be even closer, and they're lower and shoot in a direction that comes up and raises up and comes out my heart.
But the ravine is on the other side of the body, ma'am. The shot that came in through the victim is on the right side. You're talking about the ravine to the left side.
Then the medical examiner said, yes, you could take steps. Yes, you can even go feet. Yes, you might be able to go yards. How do you know that he didn't try to go get help after being shot and took some steps and fell in the direction of the house? How do you know that?
Because there's no signs of struggle or signs or blood drippings or anything that suggests that he walked.
Well, sir, do you remember his testimony when he rolled up on this and saw the body and told the call center there was no sign of blood? That the medical examiner said most of the blood was contained in the body.
Yes, I understand. I remember that.
And when you have an exit location and you roll someone over, you're going to allow the blood to move in a direction that will allow maybe possible leakage at that time. And hence we see that in the shirt, correct?
That's correct.
So you're moving the body may have caused all the bleeding for people to see. And I say you, meaning your department.
I understand that, ma'am.
Okay. The problem is, sir, that the burden of proof, first at probable cause and now in the court beyond a reasonable doubt, lies with you guys. And I want to go ahead and examine what evidence do you really have, sir, because we've heard a lot of testimony for 3 weeks. Would you agree?
That's correct, ma'am.
And I'd like to go over some of that testimony and come back to this. But you don't consider this a confession interview, do you?
The interview I conducted with Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
A complete confession?
Yes.
No, ma'am. The thing is, he was very unreliable from the beginning. Coming into this interview, I had enough information what had occurred. Mr. Kelly walked into that interview thinking that I didn't know what had occurred.
Well,
I
we'll
gave
get,
him,
I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, ma'am.
No, you can finish your sentence. That's my
I gave
bad.
him multiple opportunities to come forward and tell me. It took Mr. Kelly 30 minutes before he confessed to me, well, admitted to shooting. And like you're saying, he said he's shooting over their heads, not at them, like I explained to you earlier, man.
Okay, let's look at your questions. You are the trained interviewer, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This man admitted, I just saw a dead body and basically was still in the shock of that. And you brushed it off when he tried to tell you that. And he said, maybe if you talk to me tomorrow, I'll be calmer. You heard that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Kelly is a man's man. He comes into an interview with you knowing darn well what he's there for, why you arrested him out at the scene, okay, and brought him in handcuffs, right? You don't think he doesn't know? People know that, right? If you're handcuffed, you're probably under arrest, correct?
He's an educated man. I believe he would know, ma'am.
Okay, and we learned about his education. Thank you.
That's correct.
Now, you did nothing wrong. Go with me for a second. And then in the same location that your departments and the Border Patrol, everyone searched out there and no one found a body. We don't even know if that body walked later or earlier, was there. We just don't know. We don't have that evidence, true?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, he's cutting up a little bit of humor, just like he did with his text messaging. So let's talk about the text messaging and come back to this. you had a chance to look through all those text messages, right?
If you're talking about the ones with Detective Barba did on the search warrant,
Yes, and it was with Jeremy Marcel, and then it moved into friend and family, correct?
I briefly looked at them, yes.
Okay, and you heard the testimony here, and they conveyed it to everyone, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. If you knew that you were a senior citizen with your wife, no one else out there on a big ranch, and people on a regular basis are coming through his property, and Border Patrol is taking the time to warn him about it. And Jeremy was warning him through January as it led up to this case, correct?
That's correct. According to
Okay.
the text messages, yes.
And this is not this is a type of guy that thinks he could handle everything himself. And he probably wouldn't admit it, but I bet you he had to be very worried and very scared on his own property. Is that possible?
On the day of the incident,
Leading up to it, the last half year, however far back you need to go.
it's his choice to live out there, man.
When you own that much land, and they usually come out there in the winter and go to another location, like a snowbird, right? Did he
Yes.
mention that to you?
Yes.
Okay. But he owns it. This is his home. And he can't even be on his own home. And he's being told it's scary out there. And he hears about it. And he learns about a dead body right down the road from him, a lady. You put it together how he should feel. Shouldn't he be scared?
That tells me wearing that body, man, that dead body, that was not a murder or
We don't know what he heard, but I'm saying is the rumors went out that a lady died right down the road, and neighbors have conveyed different messages than possibly what you eventually investigated. The point is the fear factor, and him being a man's man cuts up jokes instead of saying, best friend, I'm scared. Son, I'm scared. I'm worried about your mom.
Objection, Your Honor. Testimonial. Is there a question?
Sustained.
These are his behavior on the text messages could have resulted from his reaction to fear, just like he did when he started off the interview with you. It's possible, right?
that's exactly what I asked him, man. I asked him if he thought he shot out of fear to tell me.
No. The fear wasn't that he shot out of fear. The fear was he's in a police station being interrogated by a detective accusing him of doing it. People do get scared when they get around the police. Would you agree?
Not everyone.
A lot of people do, sir.
Not everyone.
Oh,
I bet you note in your report that the behaviors of people
Objection
acting,
argumentative, Your Honor.
Well, I haven't heard the question yet.
that you have made numerous reports of people acting scared or acting nervous around you. Is that
Overruled.
common?
Overruled.
It is common.
Okay. And you don't know this man for Adam, right? I mean, you never met him before this incident, correct?
It's the first time I met Mr. Kelsey.
So you don't know his character, do you?
Exactly, man.
Okay. So you draw on your own conclusions without knowing the rest of the story. It's possible, right?
What do you mean by that?
Well, let's start back at the beginning when we have a mishap of communication from Jeremy to his supervisor, to the call center, to dispatching out information saying that he admitted to shooting. Do y'all have your book in form, or can you tell me the numbers so I can read it from the clerk? Number two?
I can't really remember if Jeremy ever said, yes, he said he was shooting, or no, that was a mistake on my part. Because I'm still not convinced that that was a miscommunication. Did we hear evidence? Like, did we hear Jeremy say, no, he didn't say that I was confused?
Can I get number 2, please? Permission to publish again.
Granted.
And this is states 2. This form was done right after, give it take a few minutes, whatever, after you interviewed Mr. Kelly, correct?
That's correct, ma'am.
Now, he denied this, and I'm going to blow it up just a drop too for anyone that needs the eyesight help. Mr. Kelly was interviewed and admitted to, what's that word there, sir? Shooting? I want to make sure I get this quote right. Last line. This is shooting?
Yes, shooting.
Did you read the rest of the sentence?
At male subjects, a deceased male subject was discovered on his property.
The male subjects that he said he shot over the head were the 5 people he tried to report, correct?
That's correct.
And that was plural.
That's correct.
How you get from that group to the east direction of body, I'm not sure how you place that body from one group to the other. How do you?
This is based on what Mr. Kelly did, the 5 subjects, whether it was the 2 that passed or the other ones. This is what was documented.
So he's being arrested then not for a first-degree murder, but for assault, aggravated assault for shooting over the head of 5 subjects on his property?
At the time of the booking and the arrest, ma'am, this was what the charge was,
Which is?
first-degree murder.
So that's premeditated.
That's correct, ma'am. I'm sorry.
What's the matter?
No, I
Oh, okay. You're
changed
fine.
something on the screen here.
It's okay. And first degree is premeditated.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're saying that he went out there and thought it out that he was going to shoot someone?
His actions, ma'am, knowing what he was doing, he went out there. Unlawful discharge of the firearm, disregard for human life. He went out there and shot, man.
And you do believe in the self-defense ability that all Americans have a right to defend themselves, correct?
I do believe that, man.
Okay. And person raising a rifle up at you, sir, right now I'm raising my handgun at you. And what would you do if I did? Be honest. What would you do?
I would shoot back.
Okay. So you would take your weapon out if it's not already out, if it was only a handgun. But if you had a rifle in your hands, you would raise it at me and possibly shoot right at me, wouldn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
And that is called self-defense, sir,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. But yes, ma'am.
Okay. So nothing you've heard from him when he said a person turned around with his rifle and pointed it at him. Anything about that says you don't have a right to self-defense and you're calling it reckless?
I'm not saying that, man, completely. Mr. Kelly stated, when I asked him if they were coming at them, he said no. I did ask him if they pointed the weapon at him. He did say yes, but he never said that they shot at him.
Sir, do you need to wait till a bullet hits you before you return fire?
I'm not saying that, man.
Okay, so Mr. Kelly did not need to wait for another shot, but he's already heard one, correct? Based on his version of calling Jeremy, he said, I heard a shot, correct?
Based on his testimony, he said he heard one shot.
And he said that to you in his interview,
That's
correct?
correct.
Okay, so now he knows that something's out there willing to shoot at something, and you want him to wait till another bullet hits him?
No, ma'am.
Personally, I wouldn't have done what he would have done. I would have shot at the person with the rifle and not up in the air. But that was pretty gracious, wouldn't you say?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
that escalated real
I'm
quick.
still kind of confused how shooting off to the right, where these men were seen running, crossing his window. I'm still confused how you think because he was just out there and had a gun, that meant he killed the man in the east direction.
You were out there, man. You've
Yes.
seen the pictures of how many rounds we found. Okay, there was one to the right and the rest to the left. Is it kind of gonna be shooting from left to right or right to left? There's 9 casings that were found out there.
Now, I'm not going to bore with all those photos. We saw them all earlier, but I do have a couple on that point I'd like to show you.
Yes, ma'am.
And I believe these are coming from the grouping.
Okay, we all know what she's about to say. If he was shooting up in the air, they could have splattered anywhere, because up in the air, blah, 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 blah. How long will it take her to get this point across? Who knows?
Just a minute, Your Honor.
Sure.
My desk got messed up somehow. I'm just going to mark them to be safe.
It's okay.
They may not have been in another group.
I'm going to fast forward it a bit. To here.
Well, Ms. Lotharp, it's 3:00. I'm looking for a good time to,
Let me just finish this evidence.
that's what I was going to ask you. If you want to do that, then let's do that. All right.
Okay, let me show you defense 000 and NNM. Go ahead and take a look at it and tell me if you can identify these photos.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I know
Okay,
that.
what are they?
These are shell casings identified with placards just outside the porch leading out from Mr. Kelly's residence.
Okay, and which numbers are these placards?
1 and 2.
Okay, and this accurately depicts the way y'all put these down, these numbers, in order to reflect this evidence, correct?
Yes, ma'am, because
I'd like to enter into evidence defense 000 and N.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. This won't take long because we only have a few minutes left. Let's see, 27. There's only 2 minutes left in this video. So I'm not gonna try to fast forward it. Or maybe I will. Yeah, I will.
It's 3 o'clock. We're going to break for the weekend. Have a great weekend. Remember the admonition of the court. We'll be back here Tuesday morning at 8:30 to continue with the examination of the witness. We're adjourned until 8:30. Have a good weekend.
All right. That was quick and easy, yo. After that last video, which confused the heck out of me because I feel like I saw it before, but I didn't see it on my channel. And I remember trying to record it a couple times. So anyway, we're back on track now. We're done with day 13. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. I'm excited. Guys, thank you so much for coming out. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you for helping me work out bugs on how to do a full trial, a long one, because I have a long one coming up and it's going to be awesome. So I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.